How's it going? Very good.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Coach, have you ever had such a dynamic special teams group with the kicker considered one of the best in the business, and obviously you got Turpin as a returner?
I think altogether, probably this would be the best. I think when you put everybody together with just all the guys, I would say yes, this is the most dynamic.
What's the biggest difference for you in this space now in comparison to the other positions you've had across the league in terms of responsibilities and those kinds of things?
You mean me? Me, where I'm coaching now? I've done it before. It's definitely different, but it's still football. I try and keep it simple as far as how I coach the guys and how I think and how I prepare, and just focus on, what job they have to do, the job I have to do, and get them to play to the best of their ability. I think over the coaching career, I've coached both, probably half and half of defense and special teams. So I just love football, and I think I just try and keep it simple like that and focus on the guys competing every day.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. Since you just came from San Francisco and big rivalry here, did you bring any secrets to share with the guys about the 49ers?
If we get a chance to play them, then yes. I will do all I can to win that game, and every game.
How do you get Aubrey prepared? I mean, he's been so good, so consistent. Obviously, the win is something different. They'll say AT&T Stadium, but how do you get him going?
I think with him, it's just with most kickers and punters and snapper, it's the consistency and their process of them getting ready for the season. And I think this is just another step in it. And I think they know about the wind. They've been here a long time, or they've been here a few times, and understanding that the wind is a good challenge for them out here. And I think they were talking about there was a line of trees here in the past that got taken down, so that's added even more. He's talking about how it used to, it would go straight for a little bit longer for about 20 yards, and then now when the wind comes, it's just cool challenges that they get to go through that you don't necessarily get when you're at home, in practice, or if we're indoors kicking like they do a lot of the times back in Frisco. So it's just it's a good little challenge every day.
How much do you want them kicking out here? I mean, do you kick too much? Do you have a...
Yeah, we have a plan. We have a specific plan. We talked about it a little bit in the offseason, then we prepped going into this of how often that they kick. You want to keep it as consistent, with how they do it in the season. You try and match it up based on days. We don't do field goal and field goal block every day based on the length of the practices, because there are rules for that. So when it matches up, we set the plan, and then you'll see sometimes there's periods that we're doing field goal block, and he doesn't kick, so it wasn't in the plan that day. So we were specific in the preparation. Try and get, about 2-3 a week.
Todd Archer with ESPN. Does Turpin open up different things for you in the return game, especially with the new kickoff rule that you weren't a special teams guy before, now that it's only in its second year?
That Turp does?
What can Turpin do to open things up for you and what you want to do?
I think with him, it's just he's so fast and explosive. I think he helps really in any time he touches the ball. Regardless of what the rules are, it's just a matter of you just close that space, and now we get on our blocks relatively a lot quicker. So for him, it doesn't change a whole lot. He's going to catch it. The cool thing with him is just getting on guys and being consistent with that, so that he can see a space, or he can see and run off of his teammates' backs.
Did you see his touchdown against Washington?
Yes.
When you were in San Francisco, or in reviewing?
In reviewing and coming in. I probably did at some point and maybe forgot, but seeing it again, that was just, that's just special. That's just different. That's not something you're like, oh, great scheme. He did the freaking big spin, and, that was an incredible return.
John Machado with The Athletic. You've been around Brian Schottenheimer before, but now in just this time here with him as the head coach, what has kind of stood out to you about working with him in that aspect?
I've always felt like this was his role, in being around him, and you see certain guys and the way that they carry themselves and the way that they coach, and I saw it in him, whether I was in Seattle or whether I was in Jacksonville with him. I knew that this was the next step, and I felt like he's been ready for this for a long time, and now he's gotten this opportunity. He's been outstanding. I think it's been really, really good.
Nick Harris, 4-Star Telegram. With Turpin, obviously he's getting a lot more offensive responsibilities as well. As his special teams coach, but also someone that wants to see him succeed at the same time, how much do you find yourself rooting for him on offense, but also making sure he's fresh when he comes
Anytime he touches the ball, I'm rooting for him. Regardless of what I'm coaching, I want to win the game. So whatever they need to use him for us to be successful, I'm cool with it. Obviously he'll be returning our kicks and our punts too, so he'll be fine. He can handle it. The coaches know what he can do,
You was talking last week about how y'all probably already had a conversation about how deep he is to bring it out. Have y'all had that conversation on kickoffs?
Not quite. That'll be situational, I think. And there is a difference of the touchback and where the ball starts too this year, so that factors in as well.
Hey Nick, Patrick Aubrey, DallasCowboys.com.
Hey, Patrick.
Obviously, as the special teams coach, there are a lot of guys trying to make the roster who look at special teams as a way of doing that. But then you have guys like Shamar James who actually thoroughly enjoy playing special teams. So as that coordinator, how good does it feel to have guys like that on your roster?
It's awesome. I mean, that's what you need. You need that, especially from the young guys that maybe didn't do it very much, or if they did it like 3 or 4 years ago. And even then, punt return, kickoff return, they're all different. So it's completely new for them when they come to the league. It's, their punt, the rules are different. The way they did kickoff was different, and those guys hadn't done it in a long time. And it's a chance for them to make our team. And you're not dressing 70 or whatever guys they do in college. So it's like, hey, this is really tight. And once they understand that, hey, this is your way to get on the field, help us win, teach them the rules, teach them how we do things, and teach them the techniques. And then at the end of the day, you try and make it make sense to them positionally for what they do. Hey, it's just like you doing this on defense, or you doing this as receiver, and then they got to go do it.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News, kind of building off that question. Special teams can often be a decider when it comes to cut down day. How much are you kind of evaluating and chronicling, everyone's special teams impact when it comes to some of those fringe players as we go throughout training?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I mean, we've done some competitive drills where we keep score, and that there's a winner and a loser, and obviously the games are going to matter. The joint practice is going to matter. It's just something that we keep doing to keep it as competitive as possible. And there's some competitive groups where I think it will be a deciding factor.
And then last year, John Fossil had a game, in terms of keeping scores, and they gave an award out at the end of the year. You kind of, I think, alluded to it there a little bit in terms of keeping score. How important is to kind of have those aspects on special teams for you guys?
Yeah, we have, a monster rep of the day each day. Whoever had the best rep, we're trying to build this monster here. So how we're doing that is based on practice. It's drill work, or it's a competitive drill. We keep score of all that stuff.
Has there been any repeat monsters yet?
Yeah, CJ. Yeah, he had a couple.
Hey, Coach, Sydney Staples, D210 Sports. As you've gotten to learn Brandon Aubrey and who he is as not only a player but a person, is there anything you can tell us that maybe we don't know about him?
It's just been really cool. I don't know what you guys know, but he's just really steady, and he's very, very, very competitive. I think all those guys in the specialist group are great athletes and very competitive in pretty much everything, whether it's ping pong, whatever, chess, any other little things that we do on the field. These guys are extremely, extremely as competitive as anyone on the team.
Tommy Yarsh, DallasCowboys.com. You kind of mentioned how important consistency is for Brandon. How beneficial is it to have Trent and Brian back with him for his process, and how much easier to having all three of them back again make your job?
Huge, and it was something that I think everyone in the building felt like that was what we wanted to do. That's why we tried to get that done as soon as possible to keep that group together, because these guys are very connected. They're excellent at what they do, if not the best at their position in the league, all of them. And they really get along, and they really work well together, and they're all very, very smart. They understand situational football, and they've been successful. So that was huge to hear it coming from Shotty when I first got here, and then understanding that we wanted to keep those guys together. And, yeah, that makes my job a lot easier.
How free reign will you have in terms of we need to fake a punt? Or is that something you need to talk to Shotty about, or do you just say, we're going to do this?
In my history, you always talk to the head coach about that. I think any major decisions that are going to change the game, you have to talk to the head coach about. So that's something I'll be in, anytime I see something on tape, even if it's rushing or you have some type of return you want to do, but obviously fakes, those are things you bring it up early in the week to talk with Shotty about it and what situations you'd want to do that in.
How important is it to have some vets that play special teams for a good while?
It's huge, because those are the guys that bring along the guys when you're not around. That I remember early in my career, I tell those guys all the time, I learned as much in the locker room or in the sauna, my rookie year and my second year playing from the guys in there. They tell you little intricate things you can do. Like I said, a lot of those rookies, we're teaching techniques and stuff, but they're gonna that gets backed up by those leaders in the locker room with Wanye and with CJ.
will that 5 yards make that big of a difference? And if so, why?
I think we'll find out. I think it will, because I think last year when this first happened, it was the 35. And then like 2 weeks later, it changed to the 30. And I think that changed to where people are like, hey, the average drive start last year was just under 30. It was like 29 and change across the whole league, drive start for kickoff return. And so everyone's saying, risk reward, depending on the situation of the game, maybe if you're up a little bit, you may not try and pin them as much, hey, give them the touchback. But I think it will. I think you'll see more returns than last year. What that number will be, I'm not exactly sure, but I think the uptick will be there because 5 yards is a lot, 7 yards, 8 yards. Every 10 yards, the percentage of scoring has gone up. I mean, just for years it's been like that. So every first down matters, and that's 5 yards.
Yeah, is there an analytical deal that every drive that starts at the 35, X percent?
Oh, all that stuff. Yeah, it just goes up as you would expect. It's crazy. Every little 5, 10 yards that you go, the scoring goes up. And this is over a number of years.
All righty. That's it. Thank
That's
you.
it. Thanks, guys.